Well, hi there. So I mentioned in my last video that in this next video I would be talking about some big changes to my planning world. As you know, if you've been watching my videos, I've been using my Chic Sparrow Mr. Darcy personal size in burgundy as my main planner in my wallet. And I really love it. It's perfect for fall, especially with my little woodland creatures charms on here. It feels great in my hand. The leather is just gorgeous and it holds everything that I need well. So I've been happy in it, and I posted in my What Planner for 2016 video that I was thinking about, even though I love this, maybe changing things up a little just because I'm a planner addict, I get bored, I want to try something new. And so I showed a few different options, either staying in this one, moving to a different personal size traveler's notebook, investigating the Happy Planner, and then the Ruskerville Sherlock theme planner that I have. So I'm talking about big changes. Surely I've moved into one of those other three. Well, this happened. This is the Filofax limited edition Union Jack Original in personal size. Now, Filofaxes were my first paper planners after I stopped using just the cheap little day at a glance, or whatever they're called, week at a glance, things that you get at office supply stores. Filofax was my first more luxury, more professional paper planner. And when I tried the different types, I handled originals several times in store, and I just never really liked it. I didn't like the way that the edges were kind of unfinished. It felt too slick. I loved the soft and just kind of bomber jacket feel of the Malden, and really fell in love with the Malden. Never bought an original because I just didn't have a use for it. Since I've been so heavily using the Traveler's Notebooks, I haven't been keeping track of the Filofax world, and just randomly on my news feed, these beauties kept popping up. I knew that they'd had them out a while ago, but so I just assumed that people were getting the older ones and they'd become popular again. But Filofax has actually re-released the limited edition Union Jack Original. The original is the only type that is still made in the UK. And before I even knew what I was doing, I went to the Filofax website and I checked on Amazon, and Amazon had it for $10 cheaper than the retail price with free shipping, and it was in my cart and I'd pressed order before I really thought it through. So I told myself I would find a use for it, and little did I know just how much I would fall in love. There is just something about it, even though I'd always hated the originals, that I just loved. Let's spell out and put that back in a second. So the thing that really put me over the edge for moving into it and using it as my main planner and wallet was what I came up with for the theme. Now, if you've seen some of my other planners and might have gotten the idea that I'm a big Sherlock fan. So what better than a Union Jack planner than to have a Sherlock theme for it? So this was delivered last week on a Sunday, and that morning I sat down and made myself some dashboards and dividers and just got it all dressed up. I'm still not finished. It's still a work in progress because I'm still figuring out my needs for working in a ringed planner. But this is currently my go-with-me everywhere planner and wallet. So for those that don't watch the show, some of these references might go over your heads. I'm sorry for that. Hopefully you can just look at the setup and get something from that. But I happened to see my numerical paper clips from IKEA and had to grab out a 221. I still need an alphabet paper clip. So if you know where you can get letters of the alphabet silver paper clips about this size, let me know, because I need a B to complete the 221B for Baker Street. I'm just using the card slots here for my driver's license and my most used credit card. I've got a Papermate flare in the pin pocket. Another reason I hadn't really liked the originals is just because I need pockets and I don't know what to do without them. So this has been an experiment for me in doing that. I've got my cash and a check back there. And now let's get into the goodies. So you can find all day long on Google, just Google for free Sherlock wallpapers. It's meant for your desktop. And the Sherlock wallpaper. It sounds redundant, but it's the wallpaper that's in Sherlock's room in the BBC show. And I found an image of Benedict Cumberbatch from the show, and took the image and took some black cardstock and had my silhouette just cut out the outline. So cut out my silhouette, cut out the silhouette of Cumberbatch there. and I used a couple of stickers from Tim Holtz. I think the Big Words collection. I forgot what exactly it's called, but it's a little notebook full of just words, word stickers. So I put all that together on one sheet. I printed this out on cardstock and then put it all together and ran it through my laminator. On the back here, I just used excess cardstock that I'd printed out because I also made all of my dividers using that pattern, and found a template online and made myself a little library pocket to hold doodads. I purchased some free clip art several months ago for my Ruskerville Sherlock planner, and so I used some of those stickers, stuck them in there. I also just have a pad of Post-its in there right now, just for little doodads and bits and bobs. One of the stickers I put on there is the smiley face one, since it's on the wallpaper. This is currently covering up my credit cards, so just because there's personal information and I couldn't find a good way to turn it around. But all I did, I took the credit cards, they're Filofax credit card holders, but I taped them together to use them in my traveler's notebook and just slipped them over an elastic. All I did, I have the tape still on here, and I just went back and hole punched through the tape, just using a normal hole punch, so that I can take this out and put it back into my traveler's notebook whenever I want without having to do anything to it. So these two, they still open just fine. I'm not going to open them because I have cards all in here. But you can see on the back, the tape is still totally attached. It doesn't get in the way at all. And I can move this back and forth anytime that I need to, which is great. This top-loading envelope is for coupons. I don't have any in there right now because I just used the ones this morning when I went to the store, the ones that had been in my bag. But this is where coupons and such go, or any receipts that I just need to keep track of, can be tucked into this top-loading envelope. So all my wallet stuff is right here at the first, and then just the stuff that came. Well, these are the things that came with the Filofax, and then a world map that came with, I believe, my slate, actually. It came with that. So I stuck that back in there since I have a traveler's notebook to use it in again. So here are my dividers. They are just the double-sided wallpaper that I printed out. So once I figured out how to get it to print the way I wanted to on each side on cardstock, because my printer didn't want the cardstock to go back through again, I was able to get those and then just trace the Filofax dividers onto these and cut them out and laminated them. I'm going to add quotes or something. I'm not quite sure what yet, but I wanted to go ahead and get these in here while I brainstorm what I'm going to do. But I do want to embellish these a little bit more. My first section, as always, is my monthly. I'm still deciding on monthly inserts that I'm going to use. Oh, and this went also right on here is just where I keep track of my grocery list. Usually sticks a lot better, but when I turned it over that way, it didn't like it. But I just keep a sticky note with my grocery list for when I'm out and about. So I'm currently using, these are the free printables from the Pen Gems website. I'm not sure whether I'm going to print them out for 2016. I just have November and December currently in here. I don't like that they don't do 2 pages per letter size paper, so I feel like I waste a lot more paper that way. I was only printing out I guess 3 sheets, and so it made it a little bit better, but for when I'm printing out a whole thing of it, I just don't know that I want to waste that much paper. And also, I feel like they don't use make quite as much use of the space. There's a lot of blank space here, and the boxes are really tiny. I feel like these are smaller than other month on 2 pages personal size that I've had. So I'm having some trouble cramming all the information in. But I just copied over from my calendar in here what all I needed for the monthlies. And again, I only have November and December here. And then I have my weeklies, and I'm taking a different approach with the weeklies. I'm just using the standard Filofax ones. I had them left over from for the end of this year from when I was in a Filofax Ring Personal before. So I didn't have to purchase anything, and it came with 2016 inserts. So I had the first half of 2016 in here as well. But I am not doing, this is where the big difference in my weeklies go. Because this is the planner that is going to come with me all the time and stay in my bag. So all I have currently for the weeklies is things that are time sensitive. It's places I need to be, or people I need to call, birthdays, that sort of thing, but not my household sorts of obligations. If you haven't watched my other videos, let me show you, just to compare. These are my 2 This is the same week, but this is how it looks in my traveler's notebook, where I'm keeping track of returning library books. My son has tell and show. They do tell and show instead of show and tell. Laundry, different things like that I'm keeping track of, and using stickers and everything, versus just writing it down in a Papermate flare. Very basic is how I'm currently. I'm not sure if this is going to change, but for now, because I did want to keep both planners going, and this stays on my desk in the kitchen at home open, because I did want to keep both planners going. I didn't want to decorate two planners at the same time, just to show you some past weeks so you get an idea of how it fills up by the end of the week. I had to film this a while ahead of when I'm posting it because I just didn't have time in this next week to have the kids free because of school holidays. So we'll see how this goes. Before, when I had my Filofax be a main planner, I used washi and stickers still. So I may go back to that, especially if I decide to discontinue the Traveler's Notebook as a main planner. But for now, this is just how it is. So my next section, I have just on the back here some of the Target Dollar Spot to-do stickers, and it's my to-do section. So these are things that when I have spare time around the house, I need to do. That's what this current list is. Again, I'm still setting this up, so I don't have a lot of my other stuff, but I had just a Notepad list floating around, and I decided to have it somewhere more permanent, so I transcribed it into here. Next, I have financial inserts, and so this is just going to be expense tracking when I'm out and about, instead of having to take a receipt and write it down at home and then have them scattered over different days. I'm putting everything, every transaction in here. I used to only do this for cash when I was out, and then I'd rely on the credit card track online, but I decided that for now I'm going to do every single transaction where I'm spending money. Again, my husband's still spending money, and I may or may not have the amounts to put that down. But this will be as good as I can get for an accurate reflection, trying to get better about keeping a good budget. Next, I have blank paper, which will be for lists once I get that fleshed out. Just any sort of list that I need to know on the go, my kids' and husband's clothing sizes, restaurants that we want to eat at or that we like, just things, and then also just to have spare notebook paper. I may add some more. It was getting pretty thick once I put my wallet in here, so I'm not sure how much, but I would like to have in this back section that currently doesn't have anything, once I run out of the memo pad, some just tear away paper. I've got the page lifter here, just the flyleaf, and in the back I have another of the envelopes that I made with excess paper, as well as just some quotes that I'm not sure if I'm going to use. They're navy instead of being black, so I decided not to use them on the dividers, but I may mess around and see what I can come up with. That's just tucked into this back one here. And then this is just the standard Filofax notepad that comes in the back, but I used, again, some scrap of the cardstock and used an adhesive roller to stick this on so that when you close it, you can see that peeking out instead of the kind of off-white yellowish cover that it actually is. So I'm enjoying this. It's been a lot of fun for me. I have a Sherlock charm that I've been wanting and haven't been able to justify for months now, that I have ordered, and it should be on its way for me in the next couple of weeks from Crafter's Retreat, one of my favorite Etsy shops for charms. So I will be sure to keep you updated as I get this set up as to whether I stay in here, whether it just ends up being a fun experiment and I find another use for it or not. But currently I'm just loving this. It's still a great size, feels good in my hands. I think maybe being in Traveler's Notebooks for a while, which a lot of them have kind of the shinier sort of leather that the originals do, that's made me not dislike this as much as I did originally when I first fell in love with the Malden and rejected the original. So currently I'm kind of using these in tandem, but this one no longer comes with me and this one does, and it's working. So we'll see how it does. Stay tuned for updates. Love it if you'd like this video, if you found something fun in it, and subscribe to see more. Thanks and have a great day. Bye.